I wanted to talk about another couple of new features that were added this week to make the screen generally easier to use. There's been a bit of a focus on the mobile look of it, so hopefully this will work in the video. We'll do. I can't actually get that to that, so we can just pull that up to 100%. So you can see on the mobile device now, when you come into the screen, I've reorganized the section here. So you've just got the presets at the top here. So you can see you can get all of the presets from the drop down. You can do your save screens in here. Your save screens, you can, when you click, if you change any filters, you can click save filters and you can save your own screens. You can go into edit, but the filters panel itself, instead of having to scroll the whole way down, if you've used a preset and you just want to get to, so for example, I used less than 5% to stage 2. It highlights the filters. You can now click on this filters heading. You can see it just closes that up for you. So it's a little accordion structure, and then you've got the tab view from the table and the chart, so you can quickly click to the charts and you can see in your initial screen on your phone, you can then get to the individual charts and just go through them like that. You can obviously quickly change to different filters. You want to see some of the stage 2 breakouts for the week, so and you can see we're into those now, and then you can go through those. You can always go back to your filters and edit your filters by clicking on that. So that's one of the changes this week. So we come back out of here. Hopefully we'll get that. You see that also works on the actual major screen as well. So you can hide the filters and get them out of the way when you're on your big screen. So someone with a broader screen, they might have obviously a lot more space. So whereas this is the kind of size screen I'm on. So it's especially good if you've got obviously more real estate or less real estate, because you can then get it out of the way. So you can see the presets have been reordered to go up in this top right corner over here. So you can get to any of your presets over here. As I said, your own save screens through here. You can click save filters and obviously give it create a new screen, which will then go into your save screens, and you can edit them by coming into this page. You can change the name, etc. You go back to the screener through here. So you also note there's been some consistency changes on this. So if you're on a iPad or you're on Safari, all of the filters should now look like they do in the videos here. So I didn't realize they look so different on the actual Apple devices than they did in Chrome. I hadn't looked at that for a long time. So I've made them all consistent now. So you should be seeing what we're seeing here on screen now. So the view button has moved down to here. So you can switch between table and charts really easily from here. So just flicking backwards and forwards depending on what your filters are. So one of the things I like to do with you can just obviously whatever filters you're using. So we're looking for changes this week, SATA score 7 and above. We've got some average volume. You can see the filters just update as you go with this. So we want those that are closed in the upper quarter of the bar, etc. And you can gradually just wind it down. The charts continue to update as you go. So that's another feature there. If we reset that. So one more thing this week is I've made it really simple with the search bar here now. So you can see it's a full row in here. I am actually going to change that this week. There's going to be another filter here to sort the table. So instead of just clicking on the columns to do the sorting, which we obviously do at the moment, we'll have an actual sort drop down filter here where there's some presets where you can quickly jump to highest average dollar volume, or by Mansell relative strength, or by the SATA score, Mansell relative strength, etc. So that's one thing there. We've now got two options here. You've got the ticker and you've got the name. So ticker is obviously the default one. So if you just type Apple, for example, you will now see Apple. It's an exact match with that. So, but however, if you want to type more than one ticker, you can put a comma, and you can as many spaces as you like. Doesn't really matter. So, but it's a comma separated list, and it will start finding what you're looking for. So the benefit of that So we go to table view here. So Apple, Google, see they start popping up. So with that, if I go to the members post here and we go into the members watch list, so you'll note in the watch list post that I do each Tuesday, Thursday, and on a Saturday night or Sunday, I include the comma separated list, and I always have done. So you can literally just highlight the comma separated list. Then if you go back to your previous page, where are we? Where was I? He says, oh no, I was doing it through here, wasn't I? So if I come back into the screener here, so copy your list out of there, and then you can simply paste it into here. You can see 27 entries. You can look at the charts. So you can now look at the watch list stocks directly in the screener immediately. And then if you wanted to save them, you can just, this actions button now exists down here. So I'm actually going to be changing this a little bit because although it's useful having it in a list here, I missed the quick links already of having a single click. It's giving it an extra click to export the list or save the list. So I'm going to add a few little icons here that have quick links, which you'll be able to trigger from the drop down list. Which ones you want to have in there is kind of what I'm thinking. So from here, whatever you've got in here, whatever filters you've used, you can then go save list and then call it a name and then save the watch list, and then that will be saved, and then that will pop up in your actual chart lists up here. So, and then obviously this list, you can get rid of stocks in this, you can add stocks to it. So anything you wanted, like it would come in, and then it all comes in the order that the table is sorted at. So at the moment, like I said, we haven't got the sort order thing set here, but at the moment it's done by whatever the table is sorted. So at the moment the table is sorted by the Mansell relative strength and the SATA score. So whatever stocks you add, so I just added Google here, for example, as you can see, popped into second. So Google is the second strongest of the watch list stocks here at the moment, for example. So it'll just pop it into that order. But when you go to the table, if you did actually want to change that, you wanted to look at them by anything else. So one of the ways I like to look at it is by average dollar volume. So double click on that. Obviously then come back to your charts, then it will show you in the order of the ones with the highest average dollar volume. So generally going to be your larger cap stocks first. So you can do that whatever order you set this. You want to do it by sub-industry. You've now got it ordered by sub-industry. You can go through those. So I think that's a really useful addition to that. As I said, there's a few tweaks I've got to do on that. So another thing, the good thing with this, with the new chart view, which I didn't mention before on the video earlier in the week, is now when you go through sectors or sub-industries, etc. So for example, I wanted to look at the, let's look at the semiconductors through here, or semiconductors, and click on that. You can see we've got 78 semiconductor stocks here, and then they're ordered in strength order immediately. So your Mansfield RS and your SATA score order. So you can go through the group charts very, very quickly now just by ticking it in the box, and you can obviously add multiple groups. You just didn't want semiconductors, you wanted semiconductors and silver for some reason to compare those. They then get merged together, and then you can see those stocks all at once. But it'll be a really useful way to quickly looking through the group themes here. So you just want to look at the 9 silver stocks here at the moment. You can see that from the strongest to the weakest, which obviously in terms of silver at the moment, it's most of the stocks are incredibly strong SATA 10s. And you go back to your table view, you see they're all still in stage 2. They've all got a strong SATA score at the moment. There was a few weakening ones here this week in terms of that. So you can jump to mini charts, and then you can jump through to individual charts. You can see when you hover over the names here, you can click on that, and that will take you through to the individual page. Then you can obviously get all of the other individual information on the stock on the page. You can change the things, how the indicators look, etc. And you can obviously if you want to get through into the group page, you open up the sub-industry in the panel, and then you click on the heading, and that takes you through to the group page, and then you can get the group breadth as well. So still some improvements to make on that flow, but hopefully that makes sense to you. As I said, a few more tweaks to do on this at the moment this week. So I have removed the summary panel from up here. that showed the stages, like the overview. You can still get that from the stages summary, but what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks in the members area is completely redesigning this dashboard with lots of different panels. So for example, if you imagine the presets from some of these, so you'll be able to get stage 2 breakouts, presets, cross above the SATA 7, approaching the stage 2 level, approaching the stage 4 level. I'm going to have panels for each one that will instantly show you the results of those in little sub panels. So you don't even have to go to the screener to quickly go through that, and that will update automatically daily. So you'll just have a quick snapshot view of those, and you'll be able to jump back through into the screener or into the pages and have a look at those properly. So hopefully you like that as well. So a few more changes I need to make. I'm still not overly keen on these being here. I did want to put them into the drop down, but was having some issues with that because of how this works. When you change your columns, it has this little drop down of itself, so being within a drop down then a drop down, it's a bit of a problem with that. So it may have to stay lingering, and this focus row obviously turns on the highlighter on that, which is on by default for people at the start. So you've obviously if you have got that on, you want to turn it off, just tick this little box here and it goes away. So hopefully that will make sense. Just a reminder, the filters are now toggleable and get out of the way. Presets are up in the corner, search bars in here, and you can switch between the charts really easily here, and it's obviously much cleaner on mobile. So hopefully you like those changes. Right, next up, let's get